West in the year 1872. On a clear December 24th morning, the sun grows bright, burning, blinding, over the tiny frontier town of Drygulch, Colorado, when suddenly an ear-piercing scream is heard clear out onto the prairie. The townsfolk and visitors rush to the scene, and they are horrified to find their sheriff, Mr. Jake Noble, shot in the back, dead.
Something like this was bound to happen to that guy.
We need to get him off the streets.
Welcome to the Paradise Saloon. My name is Kitty Carroll. 5 years ago, both of my parents passed away from the fever, leaving me the family ranch. I loved the family ranch, and I want nothing more than for it to be successful. If only I could find a man to marry, perhaps one with ranching experience. But aside from being a pretty little ranch lady, I'm also an entertainer here at the saloon. And while I enjoy working here, I'm ready to leave this life of singing, dancing, and loneliness behind. Allow me to introduce you to our townsfolk and visitors. Standing over by the Christmas tree, well, now that's Miss Patience. She's the town school marm. She loves the 23 children she teaches in that one-room schoolhouse, but sometimes she feels like she could do more or be more. She moved to Drygulch from Boston 2 years ago, accepting a teaching position here so she could experience the adventure of living life on the frontier. She's finding out it can be rather exciting. Around the table, we find Doc Mallard, Drygulch's doctor for 30 plus years now. He's patched more bullet holes and snake bites, mended broken bones, delivered babies, and administered medicine for all kinds of ailments, more than he cares to remember. His medical training was back east, but he couldn't stand the hustle and bustle of the city. To him, the frontier is home. We also have Rowdy Azell, the smooth-talking, fast-dealing gambler who came to town 6 months ago. Normally he doesn't stay in one town for that long, but he likes it here. He came to make a living with a deck of cards, just like in all the other towns he's been to. He believes poker is an honorable profession, and is sure to make it known that he worked hard to learn the skills that it takes to win. He really likes that Drygulch is on a busy cattle trail. There are lots of cowboys anxious to try their luck at poker. And while he has been here, he has set his eye on one of the ladies, but he isn't saying who. We also find Sally Forth, an English lady who recently traveled to America to marry the sheriff. She is a mail-order bride. Sheriff Jake Noble had corresponded with her in England through the Not-Worthy Matchmaker Society. Sheriff Noble had sent her photographs of himself and his ranch with a proposal of marriage. After her father's business in London went bankrupt, how could she refuse Sheriff Jake's proposal, which included a ranch, wide open spaces, good neighbors, and money? She promised to come post haste, but it's taken her over 2 months to arrive. And Dusty Davis, the Marshal of Pueblo County. He's come to investigate the murder of Sheriff Jake Noble and to act as sheriff until another one is assigned, because our deputy was so distraught over Noble's death that he has taken leave. Marshal Davis takes his job very seriously, so some of the townsfolk have asked him to watch over this evening's Christmas Eve party. Dusty is looking forward to a time when he can get back to his dream job of ranching. At the piano, we find B.B. Quinn. This Southern belle is the madam of the Paradise Saloon, where she sometimes dances and sings, but mostly she oversees the saloon's entertainment. As part of her job, B.B. is supposed to flirt with the cowboys and make suggestions, but that's as far as it goes, usually. She knows that the townsfolk gossip about her, but she cares not. Most of it is true anyway. She also has a very keen ear when the cowboys from all over the area come in, get skunk-eyed, and reveal all kinds of profitable secrets. And finally at the bar, we find Juan Bandito, the meanest Mexican hombre on this side of the Rio Grande. He has stopped in Drygulch to give his horse a rest and to wash down the trail dust with a shot of red-eye whiskey. But that's when the trouble began. Juan's been drifting the country for the past 15 years, picking up odd jobs here and there. He has herded cattle, built railway lines, prospected for gold, and even tried prize fighting for money. But here in Drygulch, he's having a bit of fun as he waits to hit the trail again.
Dashing through the snow on the back of my neck bay, o'er the prairies I go, cheering all the way. Distant gunshots ring, making me feel bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, sleighing all the way. Oh, what fun it is to sing and ride my old magnate. Jingle bells, sleighing all the way. Oh, what fun it is to sing and ride my old way. A day or two ago, the snow was a bright white. Now there's a spot of red in everyone's plain sight. That blood soaked through his coat and spread throughout the snow. What fun it is to ride and sing no matter where I go. Oh, jingle bells, sleighing all the way. Oh, what fun it is to sing and ride my old magnate. Jingle bells, sleighing all the way. Oh, what fun it is to sing further and further away.
Tonight we are gathered for Drygulch's annual Christmas Eve party. But with Sheriff Jake Noble dead, things are bound to be quite different.
For the past 10 years, I see familiar faces and a few new ones. Seems many of our town folk have decided to stay home, likely pondering this morning's event. Such a sad, sad day for Drygulch. Today, we lost our sheriff, Jake Noble, to his terrible slaying. Oh, Jake wouldn't want us to cry, though. So let's celebrate as we remember what a good man our sheriff was.
Christmas without the sheriff?
No.
Oh, Jake, I didn't even get to marry him. Everyone, I'd like to thank you for welcoming me here to Drygulch. Merry Christmas.
Sally Forth, you must be feeling pretty bad. You came here all the way from England to marry the sheriff and now he's gone?
Sure, Doc. I feel bad. It wasn't the Christmas that Sheriff Noble and I planned, that's for sure. All he wanted was a wife and children. I might feel bad, but my pain is small in comparison to the town's loss of a good man, a good sheriff.
I, for one, am not convinced that Sally Forth traveled all that way, just 1 week before Christmas, to have a Christmas wedding. I think there's more to it than she's telling us.
Come on, Miss Patience. It's Christmas Eve. I think I have you figured out. You're jealous of me, aren't you, Patience?
Because the sheriff broke off your engagement? Maybe you shot him. There's nothing like the fury of a woman scorned.
It's a Christmas celebration. And you crazy women are fighting over a dead man? If you are in need of some comfort, Juan Bandito is here.
You better comfort them real quick, Bandito. You look like a man on the run. Maybe you shot off sheriff, maybe you didn't. But above the pine bell scent, I smell skunk.
That gringo sheriff was shot in the back, Senorita. Juan Bandito does not shoot any man in the back. No, I look him dead in his eyes, and I kill him very fast. Bang, bang!
But Mr. Bandito, you don't scare any of us.
Hey, how about some more of this Christmas cider? What do you say?
Coming right up.
Cheers.
Drunk or sober, I can tell what you've been up to, Rowdy Azale.
What are you doing, Doc? You're not talking too much. What, so you're not drinking? You afraid you'll say something you shouldn't?
Yeah. Sheriff had his reasons for not trusting you. You've been looking pretty smug since he died.
Life's a game of poker, Doc. The sheriff, he just got a bad hand.
If life's a game of poker, you must have cheated the devil, Rowdy Azale.
I say we should use the town gallows and stretch Senor Azale's neck. He's guilty, I say.
Now listen here. I'm the marshal of this town, and I'll decide who's getting their neck stretched.
Hey, if anybody deserves a necktie party, Bandito, it's you. You're the outlaw.
It's Drygulch's Christmas Eve party. Tell him, Doc.
Yeah, let's celebrate. Bring me another drink. I heard from the school children that Miss Patience is very clever. Miss Patience, you were once very close to the sheriff. Who do you think might have killed him?
Well, he was shot in the back at close range, so it must have been someone he trusted, which rules out you, Juan Bandito, you, Doc, and you also, Rowdy Azale. Our logical suspects would be Phoebe and Sally Forth.
And you, darling.
Hey, maybe it was somebody the sheriff didn't trust. You know, somebody real sneaky and sly. You know, somebody the sheriff might have put in jail and he might have escaped or something like that, huh?
Not likely.
It's Christmas party time. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth
Receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room. And heaven and nature sing. And heaven and nature sing. And heaven and nature sing. Wait, we don't even know what caliber gun was used. It could have been a pistol like Juan's, or it could have been a lady's Derringer.
That's right, Doc. Who else carries a pistol in this town? Most of the ranchers, cowpoke, most of the ladies. The other women would be smart to carry a Derringer.
If you were any kind of doctor, Doc Mallard, you'd find out what caliber was used. You're ashamed to your profession.
Oh, now. I think it's time that we all start asking pertinent questions of one another. That way we can get this morning's mystery solved and get on celebrating and be ready for Christmas Day tomorrow.
Yes.
You know, I've played many a hand of poker with many a traveling cowboy. And I've heard mention of a Mexican named Juan Bandito. They say you're known more as a gunslinger than a cowpoke. What about it, Juan? Did you shoot the sheriff?
That's Juan Bandito. And I do have a reputation as a gunfighter. I've killed 11 men, depending on how you count them. And each one of them I killed in a fair fight. And not a one of them was a sheriff either. No better way to get a town all riled up than to kill their lawman. Besides, I had no reason to kill the sheriff. Not like Miss Forth. You saying that you came all the way from England for that sheriff when I'm around? It seems like you got a lucky break for the sheriff to have died. What do you say, Miss Forth?
Well, of course I was disappointed. Who wouldn't be? I left my entire life behind in England, only to find out that I'd been deceived. That, contrary to all of the photographs that the sheriff had sent me, he was about as homely as a mud fence. And his ranch was nothing but a dried up piece of creek bed. I might be used to the finer things in life, but it is just awful of you to accuse me that I would kill a man over it. If any woman here were to kill out of disappointment, it would be Miss Patience. Considering that the sheriff left you at the altar, you probably killed him out of revenge.
I am quite aware that many of the townfolk think that Sheriff Jake cut off our relationship, when the fact of the matter is, it was mutual. We both knew that it wasn't going to work. I did not break off, or the sheriff did not leave me at the altar, and neither one of us were bitter. Speaking of drinking, Doc Mallard has a drinking problem, am I right?
Yes.
And you get drunk nearly every day. And when you get drunk, you get mean. And you get vicious. Maybe you killed the doc in one of your drunken stupors.
Miss Patience,
Yes.
I assure you that I do not have a drinking problem. I can quit any time.
That's what they all say.
And me violent, that's a bunch of malarkey. I'm a professional doctor, not a ruffian. BB came to me, being the town's doctor one morning, a few days ago, and about a little medical problem. And I told her, I said, looks like you've got a gun in your garter. Looks like you've got a Derringer. So she joked it off, and then she started showing me how quick and accurate she was with that Derringer. And I said, BB, with that skill and with that weapon, you could have killed the sheriff easily.
Well, yes, I have a danger, and I keep it hidden right here in my garter. You want another peek? And at night, I keep it in the top drawer of my night table. This gun is for my own personal safety. A girl can never be too careful, especially in our profession. It is a tiny gun, but it can shoot the eye out of a weasel at 30 feet, including the two-legged kind. Talk about weasels. Miss Sally, you may claim that you are an innocent man. But my evidence proves you are one great deceiver. You left your suitcase in the lobby of the hotel the morning you arrived, and I took a little peek inside, and I discovered a very interesting document. Explain to me exactly how you were going to marry the sheriff when this here document says that you are already married to someone else.
I knew it.
How awful of you to snoop through my things, BB!
What happened?
charming men. That marriage was one of my biggest regrets, and I'd like to forget that it ever happened. But since you're such the detective, Phoebe, why is it that you didn't hear or see anything when the sheriff was shot, considering that you have a window that overlooks the exact place that he died?
Well, yes, I have a room above the saloon, and it does overlook the street where the sheriff was shot. Ordinarily, I would have been able to see the killer. However, I happen to be in another room with another gentleman. His identity is my business. How convenient. Yes, it is, isn't it? Not so much my business, but I was eavesdropping, and I overheard the sheriff yesterday ordering you, Mr. Bandito, to be out of town by sunrise, or else you would find yourself buried in Boot Hill. Seems like such a coincidence that the sheriff was shot at dawn today.
The sheriff did order me out of town yesterday, for no particular reason. Something about me being trouble. But I had no intention of leaving before my horse, Chico, was healed. So I waited for the sheriff, and he never came. I had assumed he had chickened out. Wouldn't be out of character for him. I suppose it seems someone stuck. But I'm not the only outlaw in this town worth questioning. Isn't that right, Senor Zell? I heard the sheriff talking to you just the other day. He was rather angry when he found you cheating upon some greenhorns in a crooked game of cards. He took all of your money, and you two were ready to slap leather over it. But then you chickened out. Did you kill the sheriff just to save your reputation?
All right. Me and the sheriff, we had a little talk. Yeah, he did take my money. Don't you worry about it there, Juan. I'll get it back double. I'll tell you something you need to worry about in this town. You might need to call the doctor. I mean the old doctor. Doc, I was at the telegraph office the other day, and you might be interested in this. The Sheriff Noble of Drygulch. Poor guy. From I Am Honest, the territorial governor. Have recruited new doctor for Drygulch as you requested. Stop. Dr. Cutter will arrive in your town Wednesday next week. Stop. Tell Mallard he is out. Buy him a drink and send the old quack on his way. Hope I can count on your support in my election campaign next month. From I Am Honest, the territorial governor. Doc, it sounds to me like it's about time for you to retire.
Rowdy, the territorial governor, sheriff must have told the territorial governor a pack of lies. Lies, I say, lies. I'm needed here. I know things. In fact, I was at the saloon the other morning, the hotel there eating breakfast, and I saw one bandito. I sat close enough to see what he was doing in there. And he had his pistol out, and he was ejecting a spent cartridge. And he put in a new bullet. So I want to know who, what, or when did you shoot this morning?
Which pistol was that, Doctor? Was it this one or this one? I'll let you know when it's your business why a man is ejecting bullets while eating his morning eggs. But I'll tell you, because it's a good story. Last night, I slept under the stars, and when I awoke...
Oops.
Is that what you did?
Carpenters in this town ain't worth a dime.
Cut him off.
there was a rattlesnake down by my feet. Quick as a whip, I pulled out my pistol. I looked it dead in the eyes and I said, "Into the line, Senor Snake." I shot it right between the eyes. I even kept the tail as proof. But I wasn't the only one out shooting in those hills. Just the other day, I saw Senor Zell and Miss Patience shooting. He was teaching her how to fire a gun. What exactly were you planning on shooting, Miss Patience?
Rattlesnakes. Yes, it is true that Moriah has been teaching me to shoot a gun. And he's a very good teacher. I think it's not safe for a woman to be living out in the frontier all by herself without some form of protection. I just wanted to be able to defend myself against vagabonds and scoundrels and ruffians. Speaking of ruffians, Bradiazel, I saw you changing a bandage on your leg this morning. It looked rough, all right. It looked like it could have been a gunshot wound. Would you care to explain to us exactly how you got that horrible wound on your leg?
Patience. Accidents happen. At least I keep my gun clean. It's just a little flesh, Doc. No, Doc. We don't need you on this one, Doc. Sorry.
This calls for an amputation.
It's just a flesh wound. But now that you mention it, Patience, I'd like to know what's a nice girl like you doing sneaking around with a woman like BB. I saw you on the back alley the other night. Tell me what's going on there anyway. I expected of you.
I didn't think it was any of your business. It was a very private matter. Phoebe came to me seeking expert advice on investing our money.
Yes, odd as it may seem, we have decided to go into business together. As she said, she's got the investments. She's got the money, honey, and I got the brains.
And the nature of our business is quite confidential.
Yes.
I don't like it.
Well, we've heard some interesting facts and accusations. Hope you're all taking notes. What else do you think's gonna be revealed as we join the Christmas party?
Mrs. Forth, I knew when I first laid eyes on you, that day you arrived in town, that you were hiding something. In case you don't know it, darling, bigamy is a crime in this country.
I meant no harm, I assure you. I just got caught up in a difficult situation. If my husband hadn't deserted me, I never would have had to have done what I did.
Oh, hogwash.
Hey, Doc, that sounds like a name of a drink. Kitty, can you mix us up something?
Sure thing, Mr. Azell.
Oh,
Anyone else?
Rowdy Azel, or Zell, or however you say it, your name.
Sell.
Watch your lip. We tar and feather card cheats around here.
It wouldn't be hard to make him look like a chicken, now would it, Doc?
Down, down. No need to gang up on Mr. Azell, gentlemen. We're here celebrating Christmas. Cheers to you all.
The marshal's right. This is getting us nowhere. However, the fact that B.B. Quinn carries a loaded weapon in her undergarments, now that is something significant to consider, don't you think?
Well, look who's talking. I suppose you've been target practicing to get a job in the Wild West show.
I might.
To think that I trusted you to go into business with me.
Oh, now, Phoebe, you know that we're good friends and we make great business partners. Just don't cover in the box.
Okay, you say so.
Well, business has been changing around here.
Yes.
So, Dr. Mallard, when will you be leaving town? Now that a new, younger doctor is coming to take your place?
You hush your mouth, Sally Forth. You matchmaker is not worthy society in a pig's eye.
A matchmaker society? A mail order bride? Never.
Well, yes. There are far more men in the Wild West than there are women. I only wanted to help out by becoming a wife.
It's so thoughtful of you.
That is the funniest thing I've heard all night. Well, except for the so-called rattlesnake story that Juan Bandito told earlier. Now, from what I've heard, tall tales should be told around campfires, right, gentlemen?
You should take a ride with me, my cactus flower. I can tell you a tall tale.
Shut your mouth, Bandito. Let's stop all this yammering, sing a Christmas song, and get on with our whodunit business. On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree. On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the third day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the fourth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 5th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree.
Now, what do you say we get on with the whodunit business that Miss Phoebe was talking about? Speaking of Miss Phoebe, you and Juan Bandito here have been getting quite a bit friendly as of late. And the sheriff did not approve of this, am I right? How did you feel when he threatened you and told you you better not get any friendlier with that Bandito fellow or else?
Well, yes, Juan and I have become friends lately. He's not such a bad guy under that tough-looking exterior. But Sheriff Jake, he didn't approve of our friendship, did he? And he warned me to stay away from him. But do I listen? Never. I was not going to pay attention to him or do anything or jump to his every command. On the other hand, I have some major concerns about Doc and his shenanigans. I saw you wandering the streets in the wee hours of the morning, shouting curses at the sheriff and shooting your pistol into the air. You obviously were in a drunken rage and just looking for trouble.
I knew one of the streets sometime trying to sober up. If I was shooting in the air, shouting curses at the sheriff, I'd say I must be angry with him. But I don't remember any of that. What I do remember is Juan Bandito was in the saloon one day, and he was bragging about taking the sheriff down a peg or two. And the sheriff asked him to leave town, and he said he had no intention of doing so, did you, Juan Bandito? So, did you carry out that bragging?
I am an outlaw, Doc. And I lie. I said I would take the sheriff down a peg or two, and it was an exaggeration. I had no reason to harass the sheriff because I knew he would never bother me. He was far too afraid. And as I've said, I don't shoot men in the back, and I had no reason to kill the sheriff. If anyone had a reason to kill the sheriff, perhaps it was the one who stole his keys. I don't know if you all are aware, but today, Russell Bovine was missing from jail. Russell Bovine, Phoebe's boyfriend. Just the other day, she came to me asking me to help bust him out of jail. I told her to perform her own jailbreaking.
Yes, my boyfriend Russell Bovine was locked in jail for stealing cattle. Oh, he was waiting for the circuit judge to try him. I was so worried, because if he was found guilty, they were going to hang him. I just had to help him escape. And in desperation, I asked you for help. But you refused. I don't know how he got out, but I certainly didn't take the keys off the dead sheriff's body. Oh, maybe Reilly knows the answer. Because we have been deceived by Sally Forth and Mr. Rowdy Azale. Rowdy is actually the missing husband of Miss Sally. And his real name is, get this, Skip Forth. I overheard them talking, because I'm very sneaky that way. And they were pulling a scam on the sheriff. What do you have to say to that?
My wife, Sally, she's a hard woman to please. Yeah, my name is Skip Forth, but, well...
Skip Forth.
Trying to please Sally from England is like a ball and chain. You'd think she came from royalty or something. I couldn't satisfy her 14-karat mind, so the day after our honeymoon, I came to America. You know, only in America, the land of opportunity. I was going to make it big for her. And, well, when I heard about the sheriff looking for a mail-order bride, why, I convinced Sally to, come over and we would see what we could do. And, well, when I found out that the sheriff was broke, I started playing cards. I was just trying to win a deposit or make enough money for a deposit on a nice little lot of land for us, Sally.
Of course you were. As you can all see, I was nothing but a helpless pawn in Rowdy's evil scheme to take advantage of the sheriff. I only agreed to it because I was so helpless and lonely all the way in England. I really did want to marry the sheriff. He would have made a wonderful husband. Not only did Rowdy deceive me, but he's been lying to all of you. He's been teaching Miss Patience much more than how to use a gun. The two of them are lovers. The sheriff caught them kissing while she was still engaged to him. They probably killed him to cover up their affair.
There's not a secret in this town that is safe. Not one secret. Yes, it is true that Roddy Ezell, your husband, and I had a little relationship, and the sheriff did catch us smooching. But I convinced him that it was nothing more than an innocent little kiss. Friendship, you know. Oh, that's what you want.
Let me tell you something about patience. Patience has no patience. She's an animal, okay? I'm a victim of love. That's all it is. I'm just a victim of love. Well, I gave her a little kiss one day, and she lip-locked me, and the sheriff saw it. And it scared the sheriff to death. I would say you scared the sheriff to death with your over-the-top advances.
I'm going to scare you, Roddy Ezell.
You're over the top, you're an animal, okay? Patience. Really. But, Sally, I have a question for you now. Why were you and Patience fighting at the barn dance the other night? Yeah, I stepped outside and saw you two around back rolling around in the dirt, fighting around, and
Exactly.
pretty sure I overheard you say, "You can have him when I'm finished with him," talking about Sheriff Noble. Why are you even wanting to fight over that guy for anyway? Patience? Sally?
I might have said a few things when Patience viciously attacked me at the barn dance, but it meant nothing. I only said that to get her to stop hurting me.
Yes, I did lose my patience on Sally Forth the other night, but it had nothing to do with Jake Noble. It was because she wouldn't stop yammering and running her mouth and saying mean and vicious things to me. Well, I just needed to get her to stop, so I lost my temper all over her. Speaking of losing your temper, let me explain why the sheriff ordered Juan Bandito out of town. It was because Juan attacked me. I was just walking down the street, and Juan came up and he grabbed me and he tried to kiss me. And, well, Sheriff Jake came from nowhere and he rescued me. And you know, in a way I kind of rescued you because Sheriff was going to kill you, Juan Bandito, but I stopped him. You're lucky for that.
I suppose cactus flowers do have thorns. That's not at all how that happened. Miss Patience simply fell for my natural charm. I attempted to reciprocate, and the sheriff took offense. He knew he could never compete. He threatened me and sent me and told me to get out of town.
You can play innocent all you want, Bandito, but I know who you really are. The sheriff gave me this letter meant for his deputy, and it clearly states that you are a dangerous criminal, that you're the one that committed the Southland train robbery, and that you hid all of the gold at Dead Man's Canyon. Oh, and what's this? You were to be shot on sight? You probably killed the sheriff to cover your own tracks.
It's about time my talents be recognized. Yeah, I robbed the Southland train. The sheriff knew about it, and yet here I remain, unshot. It's because the sheriff was terrified of me. And I knew that, so I had no reason to attack the sheriff. I simply went about my days. If anyone here had a reason to kill sheriff, it must have been the doctor. He contracted me a few days ago to try and kill the sheriff. I told him, be a man, Commit your own murders. It seems he's gone and done it.
I had my reasons. I looked at you and I offered you every bit of money I had. And you said, if you want to kill somebody, you kill him yourself. So, I reconsidered, and we laid the sheriff alive, not dead. Then, I saw somebody in the alley when I was looking out of my window in the saloon alley, and it was a woman's silhouette. And I couldn't make it out at first, but she kept walking, and I figured it was Sally Ford. So, Sally, what were you doing out that early in the morning at 4 a.m.?
Well, it's simple, Doc. I was having trouble sleeping knowing that a dangerous criminal was walking free among us. I had to get that letter to the deputy as soon as possible. I just happened to be in the alleyway when you saw me.
Hey, listen, I can tell you what's going on here. I can settle it right now. BB and Patience. I seen yous again sneaking around. You know they're starting a new business in town. A little brothel, they call it. The Lonely Hearts Club. After what I hear, they're taking cowboys upstairs and teaching them how to read. Is that what you call it? Math. Yeah, I would say that's illegal, even in our little town. Lonely Hearts Club. But if the sheriff's a silent partner, then I would say you might get away with it. And I'd say the sheriff probably wanted a little more of the cut than you girls was allowed to give. So you girls let him have it, didn't you?
Well, it's true that we started a business called the Lonely Hearts Club, and it's illegal. Who cares? It's been quite the lucrative operation. But old Sheriff Jake, he wanted us to pay protection fees. He demanded it, or he was going to close the place. I'm guessing he didn't very much care if it was illegal.
That's right. And we had no intention of paying him for protection. We're quite capable of protecting ourselves.
We are.
He should have paid us for protection.
Yes. Those cowboys learning math.
Tiddlywinks, is that what you call it?
ABC, whatever we call them. They're eager learners.
Let's solve the murder of my dear friend Sheriff Colson. What do you think of this one?
Now that we're narrowing down our suspects and we've had some Christmas cheer, let's continue to celebrate Christmas and discuss this morning's events.
Patience. We've let our secrets out. Now we can be married. Nothing will stand between us now.
Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Nothing. Nothing except for your wife, Sally Ford. Or have you forgotten her? You two make a perfect couple. A couple of liars.
Well, I'm sure you're far too busy for marriage anyways, Patience darling. With all of the men stopping by the Lonely Hearts Club, I think your teaching days are far behind you.
I think your teaching days are far behind you. There you go again, Sally Ford, just running your mouth about things you don't even know anything about. I am merely an innocent investor in this franchise. Phoebe is the real madam. Although I wasn't aware that she was entertaining cattle thieves and vagabonds.
likes of any of you. Rowdy, Juan, Doc? No way.
Now, let's get off the marriage subject and back on the track of solving this murder of my dear friend Sheriff Noble. Then we can celebrate the real meaning of Christmas as much as possible. Remember, I'm watching and listening to each of you. Cheers.
Christmas with a special someone.
Senor Rowdy is hot stuff, no?
No.
A wife and a mistress? Perhaps he is like a stallion, trying to protect his herd.
Wait a minute. Tell you something, Juan Bandito. If these ladies weren't present, I'd shoot you and leave you for buzzard bait. But then again, I don't want you to miss your necktie party that's coming up. Or maybe that long trip to the Hoosgow for that train robbery.
Juan Bandito won't be there alone. Perhaps I'll share a cell with Miss Beebe. I could soon make you forget about your cattle-stealing boyfriend. How would you like to take a ride with a real man, Beebe?
Don't make me laugh, Bandito. You won't last a day in prison without your fancy pistols. Just tell me, you have any gold hidden nearby? You won't be needing it.
I'm about fed up with all of y'all. What we need here is some law and order.
Yeah, rest
Clean the riffraff out of this town.
Just water.
Thank you. I need another drink.
water.
You hold on there, Doc. Marshal Davis is right here. He will handle the riffraff and anyone else he sees the need to.
Thank you, Miss Kitty. I will handle the riffraff when the time is right.
In that case, Doc Mallard should be the first to go. The old quack.
Tell me, poor, I may not be much for a gentleman, but you're not much for a lady either.
Hello, Doc.
May I suggest we continue?
Well, Juan, since you're so good at deceiving all of us of the criminal that you really are, maybe you can clear this one up. Why don't you explain why the keys that were taken off of the dead sheriff's body were found at the livery stable, lying in a pile of straw, right next to your horse, Chico? Quite the coincidence, if you ask me.
Insulting me like that won't gain you any points, Miss Forth. I don't know why the keys were that next to my horse. I would never endanger Chico like that. If I wanted to break into the jail, I'd simply blow the whole place up and take whatever I wanted. I wouldn't bother going and killing a sheriff for it. And besides, I think I know something that you might be interested in.
Do tell.
Here I have a bounty on the head of Skip Forth. $5,000, dead or alive, for the murder of a sheriff in Texas. Shot in the back, no less.
Adultery and murder?
I never.
You married him.
You kissed him.
Boy, she sure did, I'll tell you. Yeah, I am wanted dead or alive in Texas. And yeah, they say that sheriff was shot in the back. tell you, it's a case of mistaken identity. I didn't shoot the Texas lawman, and I didn't shoot Sheriff Noble either. I'm just a victim of circumstance. But, I'll tell you something you might find interesting, everyone. I reckon there was a little derringer laying right beside the dead sheriff's body this morning. Not just a few feet away. Little derringer that belonged to BB. Yeah. I'd say BB shot the sheriff, and when she did, she dropped the gun out of her drawers and she run off.
Well, I didn't lose my drawers, but I did lose my gun. I have no idea how that derringer ended up by the sheriff's dead body this morning. Somebody else took it, fired it, and planted it there. You all know I take this gun and I put it in the top drawer of my night table every night. I told you about that. That's my routine. And that night that I went to visit that gentleman, I left the door unlocked so anybody could help themselves to my room and my derringer, plant the evidence on me, and just cast all that suspicion on me.
Phoebe, that reminds me of something, dear. I wasn't thinking much about it till now. But earlier today, I was walking down the street in front of the jail and I found this. It appears to be a love note to your Russell. Russell, my love. You know what it says? You wrote it. It says, our problems will soon be solved by morning. Be ready for the ride of your life. Your little baby. And that is your lipstick, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Explain that. It sounds to me like you were planning to shoot the sheriff and get Russell out of jail. So you could have the ride of your life.
Well, I was thinking of other things myself, but I'm at a loss why my note was floating through the air, just landed by the jail. I wrote that note a long time ago. It was way before his arrest, and it had nothing to do with his escape. It was simply a love note. You know, with a few simple promises of pleasure, if you know what I mean. But I don't know why all this fuss is about me. All the evidence points to Doc. He was the first one at the murder scene. Talk about suspicious. Everyone knows. Look at him. Everyone knows he could sleep through a cattle stampede after a night of drinking. Maybe he shot the sheriff and just pretended to be the first witness at the scene.
I heard a gunshot early this morning. I ran him out of my office. And I saw Sheriff Noble laying on the ground, bleeding. I ran back into my office to get my doctor's bag. Miss Sally's scream brought us all to the scene. But, on the other hand, there was boot prints in the dirt there. And those boot prints are distinctive. They only belong to one feller that I know of. Rowdy Azale, you had motive to slay the sheriff.
Oh, Doc, you got it all wrong. See, Doc, it's real simple. Last night was a beautiful night, and I stepped outside the saloon to get me some fresh air and to look up at the stars. While I was out there, I thought I'd practice my dance moves. So I started dancing around the street, Doc. That's how my footprints got there, Doc.
And that's what you call that.
Well, I call it patience. Did you you'd have had more patience, I'd have showed you how to dance. Let me ask you something, Guan Bandito. Why was you in a dang busted hurry to come out of that jail this morning? You had that there saddlebag strapped over your shoulder. Looked kind of heavy, I thought. Yeah, what was you doing running out of the jail? It's a good thing that sheriff deputy saw you and made you stay here till this investigation was over. I'd say you're the outlaw, Bandito.
I can't decide what's worse. That and an excuse or this Christmas party.
Do our best.
You are your asshole.
That's a Zale.
When sheriffs get shot, it's time for men like you and me to get out of town. So as soon as I heard the sheriff got shot, I made my way to the caves to grab my gold. But when I got there, I found that your crooked sheriff had taken in all of it for himself. I followed his tracks back to town, where I found my saddlebags in jail, open, empty, as all the cells were unlocked. Anything I may have had as I exited the cell was restitution. But I wasn't the only one in a hurry to get out of town. Miss Forth, I saw your bags and briefcases all packed and ready to go just this afternoon. Not even going to stay for your fiance's funeral?
Well, of course I wanted to leave. This week has been just awful for me. I lost the man that I thought was finally going to help me put my life back together. So I bought a ticket to California. I didn't know it was a crime. None of you people seem to want me here anyway.
That's the first honest thing you've said all night.
Just can't get a break.
No, Sally Ford. You tell me. I was at the stagecoach office walking by, and I saw you in there purchasing a ticket. And I stopped and I watched, and you were paying for it with gold. Gold. Now that's really funny because you were crying to everybody that would listen to you. Oh, I've spent my very last penny to get to Drygulch. Now, where did the gold come from, Sally Ford?
My financial situation is none of your business, Patience. But if you must know, Jake gave me the money. He gave it to me so that I could plan a beautiful Christmas wedding. But since there's no wedding to be had, I bought a ticket out of here. There's nothing left in Drygulch for me. I just can't take all of this grief. Speaking of grief, Doc, I feel like it would help you and all of us if you could explain why you hated the sheriff so badly.
All right, I did hate the sheriff, but I had my reasons. They refused to get a posse together back in 1862, 10 years ago, when renegades kidnapped my wife. He said he was needed more in the town to protect the town. So, as I went on, I said, I found a letter in the sheriff's deputy's file. In the sheriff's file, and here's another sad story. I haven't seen my Millie since. And here's another sad story. I'm trying to sober up so I can read this. I hope this letter finds you in good health and prosperity. It is with great sadness that I must tell you that I am dying. I will probably be gone by the time you read this letter.
Who's it to, Doc?
Miss Patience. Miss Patience. I failed to tell who it was to, didn't I? My faith has failed me, and I am finally going to join you, dear Father in heaven. I have a terrible confession to make. I must tell you now, as it will affect you deeply. Your fiancé, the man known as Jake Noble, is really your half-brother. You must not marry him.
I guess not.
He was my illegitimate son, born before my marriage to your father. I never told anyone until now. He was adopted by the noble family at birth, and I have not seen him since. I have thought about him often and love him in my own way. I am so very sorry. Forgive me, my darling children. All my love, Mother. I have sent a copy of this letter to Jake. Miss Patience, did you kill the sheriff out of sheer humiliation?
No, I didn't kill Jake. The only thing that humiliates me is that I kissed him on the mouth. He was my only brother. I wouldn't kill my only brother. And we swore not to tell anyone we were going to go to the grave and not tell a soul at all costs.
How about that, Miss Patience?
I know.
You're the half-sister of the late Jake Noble,
Yes. Yes, I am.
and your mother wrote that letter to you long before she died.
3 months before she died.
Was there an inheritance that you had to split with your brother? Just wonder.
I recently received a letter from my mother's lawyer, and she had a very large estate, and we were to split it halfway. But
Oh, dig it there.
I wouldn't have killed Jake for the money. I didn't need the money. We were making plenty of money. I didn't kill my brother.
That's it! I just can't take this anymore! You people are driving me mad! Nobody in this town seems to tell an ounce of the truth, so I might as well set an example! I killed the sheriff! And when I found out about the gold, I knew that would be my big break! Maybe if I had just waited, I could have had some of that inheritance! But my train leaves any minute and I am out of here!
Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Merry
Oh, really?
Get drunk
tonight. Go to church on Sunday. Good to see you. Thanks. Good to see you. We're looking Hey, Mr. Bandito, you're doing a good job. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you coming. Good job. Thank
So we got Mr. Bandito. Very good. Doc.
Hey there, Jason. How you doing?
If I didn't know any better, I would swear you were loaded up there.
Yeah.
Miss Kitty.
That's the way I used to really act, but I don't do that no more.
Is it good?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
That was hilarious. And then I'm thinking, yeah, but you're
Did you bet on this? You're not really? Hurricanes, ace high?
no, but I was very conservative.
You're conservative better.
I literally laughed out loud when you said your name was Skip Forth. It took me about that much longer than everybody else.
Did you catch what my name really was in the play? Rowdy? Azel?
Rowdy who?
Rowdy as hell.
Rowdy as hell.
We just learned this last night after all these
Did she write this play?
Bye-bye.
author, director, and contributor. All the above.
All around great guy. Girl.
It just makes nature.
That's enough.
So good.
She's like, let me out of go.
Thank you for coming.
Hello, buddy.
We didn't know.
Patience.
Hey,
Hello.
I'm very patient, you know. You like my new charm bracelet?
Tonight was way different than last time.
Oh,
It'll
okay.
be way different.
You know, she always was.
Hello there. Yes, that's funny, especially when the thing collapses on us.
Think there's a chance we can ever make it work?
Not in your wildest dreams.
Okay, how
Maybe when
about
I get out of the scout.
out of the Who's Cow? Yes. How about you, BB? Any
Yes.
plans for the next 5 years?
No, I got you on my calendar.
Oh my goodness. Can you teach? I've always wanted.
Is that your brother?
I've always wanted to
Is
learn
he
how.
gonna like blackmail us with this or
I've
something?
always wanted to learn how to play marbles and tiddlywinks.
Oh, well, I'm the best teacher ever.
Whoa! Hey, easy.
Settle down, Davis. Okay, that's it.
He was out of his mind.
Hi. So, what is the name of this play?
A slain, I will go. This is our food that keeps us going.
Yes. What would you say in just a word or two, or a sentence or two, the play's about?
Well, it's a murder mystery,
Murder mystery.
and people are trying to figure out who done it.
Who
And
done
we
it?
do our very best to keep you thinking.
She might have done it.
Don't even be thinking that way.
She could have
I'm
done
just
it.
an innocent person. I'm not an innocent bride, but I am an innocent person.
Uh-huh.
Innocent of what, Miss Phoebe?
Yes.
Phoebe, little Phoebe.
Good question.
She keeps calling me little baby.
There's the bandito. Hi there, guys.
Hey,
But
How y'all
I'm
doing?
a real bandito.
How y'all
I'm
doing?
playing the part.
Behind the scenes, getting everything ready. She's getting it all ready to go. We're back live at the Good Neighbors Theater, and we're just getting ready to put on our last dress rehearsal before the big show. And Denise has already told us a few things about the play. What about you, Miss Sally?
Forth.
Hello.
What about it? In maybe a sentence, what do you think about the? How would you describe this play?
I describe this play as funny, lots of improv, and great acting.
I love improv.
Yes, yes, you do.
Yes, and Christmas is coming real soon.
This one stays up.
Not Sally. Don't say it.
That stuff I know.
Anyway, Sally, Christmas is coming real soon. What would you like for Christmas this year, Sally?
Well, Sally would like a new rich husband.
Oh, yes.
But Moriah.
Moriah,
wants
yeah, Moriah.
Peace
What-
on earth.
peace on earth. How about that? What about you, Denise? What would you like for Christmas this year in 2024?
Just to be with family, lots and lots of, don't make me cry.
Don't cry.
I want to see all of my kids and my grandkids and love on them.
Oh, well, that sounds pretty good. Almost sounds as good as peace. What about you?
Oh, let me tell you about my youngest grandson, because I was just in Ohio. He's 9 years old.
9.
Now, I missed this basketball game because I was at the oldest one's basketball game. But my little 9-year-old whippersnapper,
Yes.
he scored 13 points and a three-pointer at the buzzer.
Wow. He's going to be a star, it sounds like.
Yes, his name is Picket.
Let's see what else we got going on out here.
Sounds better up there.
What about it? What do you want for Christmas this year?
I would love a new light board and a new soundboard.
She doesn't have enough lights on her board. Okay. Robert, what would you like for Christmas this year?
I would like a new soundboard. I want a new digital soundboard.
See?
The Santa Claus is going to have a lot of work this year. Okay. Here's the old stage for the sleighing I will go. See the beads, yes. Looks like we got a poker hand going here. Treats. And sound effects.
Look who's talking. I suppose you've been shooting your pistol so you can get a job in the Wild West show.
I don't carry it on me.
To think that I trusted you to go into business with me.
Now, baby Quinn, you know that. You know that you and I make great business partners.
Well, business has been changing around here.
So, Doc Mallard, when will you be leaving town? Now that a new, younger doctor's coming to take your place?
Hush your mouth, Sally Four. You not wear the Matchmaker Society in a pig's eye?
Oh.
A matchmaker society? A mail order bride? I never.
Well, I only wanted to help. There's more men in the Wild West than there are women. I only wanted to help out by becoming a wife.
That is so funny. That's almost as truthful as the so-called rattlesnake story that Mr. Juan Bandidos was telling us this morning. Oh. You know, tall tales are to be told around a campfire, right, gentlemen?
Right.
Oh, now, Miss Patience, why don't you take a ride with me and I'll tell you a tall tale.
Shut your mouth, Bandito. Let's stop all this yammering, sing a Christmas song, and get on with our whodunit business.
Good idea.
On the first day of Christmas,
my true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree. On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 2 friendly loves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the third day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree.
On the
5th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 5th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree.
Now that we're narrowing down our suspects and we've had some Christmas cheer, let's continue to celebrate Christmas and discussed this morning.
Patience.
What?
I'm glad our secret's out. Now we can be married. Nothing will stand between us.
Married? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Nothing except for your wife, Sally Forth. Or have you forgotten her? You two make a perfect couple. Why don't you get back together? Because you're just nothing but a couple of liars.
Give me the guns. Patience. You're right.
I'm sure you're far too busy for marriage anyways, Patience, darling. With all the men stopping by the Lonely Hearts Club, I'd say your teaching days are far behind you.
You don't know at all what you're talking about. All you do is run your fat lips. Oh, Phoebe is the real madam. Although she didn't tell me that she was associated with vagabonds and cattle thieves, I may have to rethink my investment.
They're nice people.
I sure would like to get married one day. But not to the likes of any of you. Rowdy, Juan, Doc, no way.
All right, let's get off the marriage and wedding subject and back on track to solving the murder of my friend Sheriff Noble. Then we can truly celebrate Christmas. Well, as much as possible. Remember, I'm listening and watching each of you.
Christmas with a special someone?
Senor Rowdy. He thinks he's hot stuff, no? No. A wife. And a mistress. Oh. What do you say to that, Senor Ladies Man?
If the ladies weren't present, Bandito, I'd shoot you and leave you for buzzard bait.
Oh, they'd not like it.
But then again, I'd like to see you have that neck stretch at your party.
Yeah.
Or take that long ride to the Hoosgow for train robbery.